Imagine dreading the simple act of going to the bathroom. For Arthur, a 68-year-old retired carpenter, it wasn't just dread, it was a daily hour of torture. He described it as passing broken glass. He stopped going to his weekly poker game because he couldn't sit in a hard chair for more than 10 minutes. He suffered in silence because he was too embarrassed to tell his wife or his doctor. The mistake Arthur made, and the mistake millions of seniors make, is thinking hemorrhoids are just a bathroom problem. They are not. They are a collapsing vein problem. Treating them with surface creams is like painting over a crack in a dam. You need to fix the structure of the wall itself. Old doctors understood that when the veins in your rectum balloon out, it is a sign that your vascular system is losing its structural integrity. It is crying out for specific building blocks. Today, we are using the old doctor's protocol. We are going to use 5 specific nutrients to rebuild your veins from the inside out, stop the bleeding, and shrink the swelling. If you are tired of the burning, the itching, and the fear of seeing red in the toilet bowl, pay close attention to the ancient vein shrinker coming up at number 1. Let's begin. Number 5, the vein architect. Why do hemorrhoids seem to plague us more as we get older? It's because our veins lose their natural elasticity. Think of an old rubber tire sitting in the sun for years. Over time, the rubber dries out, cracks, and bulges. Your veins are exactly the same. They are made of living tissue that needs constant maintenance. To fix this, you need the cement of the body, vitamin C. But wait, you can't just drink a glass of sugary orange juice and expect a miracle. Sugar competes with vitamin C for absorption, so you need a clean source. Vitamin C is the primary fuel for producing collagen. Collagen is the structural protein that gives your veins their strength and flexibility. It is what allows your veins to stretch when blood pumps through them and then snap back into shape. When you are deficient in vitamin C, your body produces low-quality, weak collagen. Your vascular structures become fragile. This is why people who bruise easily often suffer from hemorrhoids as well. It is the same underlying weakness in the vessel walls. When pressure builds in your abdomen, a collagen-rich vein will stretch and bounce back. A collagen-poor vein will balloon out and stay there. Taking a daily supplement of 500 to 1,000 milligrams of a buffered vitamin C helps your body weave new, strong collagen fibers into the vein walls. It tightens everything up over time, turning those old rubber tires back into fresh, flexible tubing. But vitamin C builds the bricks. To build a wall that lasts a lifetime, you need the specialized mortar that actively shrinks the swelling. This number 4, the exit strategy, mineral. We have to start with the root cause. You can take all the medicines and apply all the creams in the world, but if you are straining on the toilet, you are physically tearing your healing veins apart every single morning. Arthur was making the problem significantly worse by forcing it. When you hold your breath and push, you are creating immense intra-abdominal pressure. Think of it like squeezing a water balloon at one end. The other end has to bulge. In your body, that bulge is the delicate network of veins in your rectum. By straining, Arthur was re-injuring himself daily. You need magnesium, specifically magnesium citrate. Most people think of magnesium just for sleep or leg cramps, but old doctors know it as the ultimate muscle relaxant and hydraulic stool softener. It works by a simple, gentle process called osmosis. Here is the science simply put. Magnesium citrate is an osmotic laxative. When you take it, it stays in your intestines and acts like a magnet for water. It gently pulls water from your surrounding tissues into your colon. This extra water mixes with the stool, making it soft, heavy, and hydrated. The result? The stool passes effortlessly. It glides out without a single ounce of strain, meaning you don't create that damaging pressure spike in your pelvis. This is very different from the harsh stimulant laxatives you might find at the pharmacy like Senna or Bisacutal. Those work by irritating the lining of your gut to force a contraction. While they might work once, over time they can make your bowels lazy and dependent, actually worsening the problem in the long run. Magnesium simply hydrates the system. It acts like a hydraulic jack, doing the heavy lifting for you so your veins don't have to. Here is the protocol. Take a dose of magnesium citrate before bed with a full glass of warm water. The effect is fast, usually working within 30 minutes to 6 hours. By the next morning, the exit will be smooth. You remove the mechanical pressure, and for the first time in years, you give your veins a window of opportunity to actually heal without being torn open again. However, a critical word of caution for those over 60, do not use this for chronic, long-term constipation without talking to your doctor, especially if you have kidney issues or heart conditions. Your kidneys are responsible for processing magnesium, and we want to support your body, not overwhelm it. But now that we have stopped the straining, we need to put out the fire that is already burning. Number 3, the fire extinguisher for itching. There is nothing more maddening or humiliating than the deep, burning itch of a hemorrhoid. This condition, medically known as pruritus ani, happens because the swollen tissues prevent proper closure of the anal canal, allowing mucus to leak out. This moisture, combined with inflammation, irritates the sensitive skin around the area, causing it to break down. Arthur was using over-the-counter hydrocortisone cream. It worked for an hour or two, but then the itch came back with a vengeance. Why? Because long-term use of steroid creams can actually thin the skin, making it even more fragile and prone to injury. You need vitamin E, but not just swallowing it. Vitamin E is a potent anti-inflammatory antioxidant. Think of inflammation as a fire that is burning your tissues on a cellular level. Vitamin E acts like a cellular fire extinguisher. It protects your cell membranes from oxidative stress, which is the chemical damage that occurs when tissues are inflamed. The evidence for this is remarkable. In a clinical trial comparing a topical vitamin E ointment to standard nitroglycerin treatments for chronic anal fissures, the vitamin E group had an 86% healing rate compared to only 66% in the other group. Even more impressive, patients using vitamin E didn't suffer from the headaches that the other medication caused. Here is the puncture method Arthur used to get these results. Buy high-quality vitamin E soft gels. Look for D-alpha tocopherol, the natural form. Take a sterilized needle and carefully prick the capsule. Squeeze that golden, thick oil directly onto a clean finger or a cotton pad and apply it gently to the inflamed area. Because it is a thick oil, it does two things simultaneously. First, it creates a soothing moisture barrier that protects the sensitive skin from irritation. Second, the vitamin absorbs deep into the tissue to turn off the inflammation signals at the source. The relief is almost instant. The burning sensation cools down, the itching fades away. You can finally sit still without shifting, but soothing the skin won't stop the scary part. The blood. Number 2, the clotting agent for bleeding. One morning, Mary, a 64-year-old grandmother, looked into the toilet bowl and panicked. The water was bright red. It is a terrifying sight that makes your heart skip a beat. This is the moment most people rush to schedule surgery. Bleeding happens because the walls of your capillaries, the tiny blood vessels in the hemorrhoid cushion, have become so thin and brittle that they rupture under the slightest pressure. It's like a worn-out garden hose that springs a leak. You need vitamin K. The K actually stands for coagulation, which is the Danish word for clotting. This vitamin is the master key for your body's repair system. It is essential for activating specific proteins in your liver, known as clotting factors, that tell your blood to seal a wound. Specifically, vitamin K activates an enzyme that allows these proteins to bind to calcium, which creates the mesh that plugs the leak. If you are deficient in vitamin K, your body loses the ability to patch up these tiny micro tears in the rectal veins quickly. The result is bleeding that seems to never stop. However, you must be extremely careful here. This is a powerful biological mechanism. If you are currently taking blood thinners like warfarin or Coumadin, you must talk to your doctor before increasing your vitamin K intake, as it can directly interfere with your medication. For everyone else, you can boost your levels naturally by adding dark leafy greens like kale, spinach, and Swiss chard to your diet. These are packed with vitamin K1. For acute cases, some practitioners may recommend a short-term supplement to restore the body's clotting ability. Within 48 hours of optimizing her levels, Mary noticed a dramatic change. The bleeding slowed down and then stopped completely. Her body finally had the biological tools it needed to repair the leak and seal the vessel. Now that the bleeding has stopped, we need to make sure those veins never collapse again. Number 1. The Ancient Vein Shrinker. This is the secret that changed everything for Arthur. After 5 days of using the other vitamins, he was feeling better. The itching was gone, the exit was smooth, but the physical lump was still there. He needed something to physically shrink the distended tissue back to its normal size. He needed bioflavonoids, specifically a powerful clinical combination called Diosmin and Hesperidin. In the medical world, this combination is known as a phlebotomic, or MPFF, micronized purified flavonoid fraction. These are powerful natural compounds often derived from immature citrus fruits, but they are concentrated to a level you cannot get from diet alone. Here is the science that usually gets ignored. These compounds work by inhibiting the breakdown of a chemical called noradrenaline in your vein walls. Why does that matter? Noradrenaline is the signal that tells your veins to stay tight and toned. By protecting this signal, Diosmin acts like a corset for your veins, physically tightening them up and reducing the venous tone. Furthermore, they improve lymphatic drainage, which acts like a pump to suck the excess fluid out of the swollen tissue. Imagine deflating that water balloon we talked about earlier. Studies show that this specific combination can stop a hemorrhoid flare-up in just days. But the key is the dosage. The old doctor's protocol for an acute attack is very specific to get results in the first week. The protocol often used in studies is a loading dose. You take 6 tablets a day for the first 4 days. This floods your system with the flavonoids to stop the acute attack. Then you lower the dose to 4 tablets a day for the next 3 days. Arthur started this loading dose. By day 3, he noticed the swelling was going down significantly. This aligns with studies showing it takes about 3 to 4 days for the major effects to kick in. By day 7, the bleeding had stopped, the pain was virtually gone, and the protrusion had shrunk significantly. He was back sitting in his hard wooden chair at the poker table, winning the hand without a single thought about pain. To get these results, you need to attack the problem from all angles. Magnesium to stop the strain, vitamin E to stop the itch, vitamin K to stop the bleed, vitamin C to build the wall, and bioflavonoids to shrink the vein. Start the protocol today, and don't forget the most basic rule of all. Drink a tall glass of water right now. Your veins are thirsty. If this video helped you, please like and subscribe so we can keep bringing you these natural secrets. Your body is ready to heal. Give it the chance.